Close your eyes and picture this. You are walking through a dense forest. The air is damp, your footsteps sink into the mossy ground, and a distant rumble vibrates through your chest. Birds scatter into the sky, branches sway violently, and then, breaking through the tree line, a colossal creature emerges. A roar echoes so loud it feels as if the earth itself is speaking. For a moment, your brain insists this must be a scene from Jurassic Park, a moment of Hollywood fantasy. But then you realize, this might not be fiction much longer. Scientists across the globe are working tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of biology and technology, with one audacious goal bringing extinct species back to life. And their bold prediction, by the year 2030, less than a decade away, we may witness the rebirth of creatures we thought were gone forever. The question, however, remains, are we truly ready for a real-life Jurassic Park in our lifetime? The concept is called De-extinction. For decades, it lingered on the pages of science fiction novels and in the dazzling CGI of blockbuster films. Yet what once belonged purely to imagination has, in the 21st century, begun to shift into the realm of possibility. The spark came not from fantasy writers, but from the astonishing pace of genetic research. Breakthroughs in DNA sequencing, cloning, and gene editing have given scientists tools once unthinkable. In labs from California to Copenhagen, from Sydney to Siberia, researchers are piecing together fragments of ancient genomes. Like detectives reconstructing a shredded manuscript, they are rebuilding lost blueprints of life. The story they are writing could change the future of life on Earth. For the first time, humanity holds the keys to reversing extinction. Think about Dolly the sheep. In 1996, the world was stunned when scientists in Scotland announced they had successfully cloned a mammal from an adult cell. What seemed like science fiction had suddenly become science fact. Dolly was the proof of concept that life could be copied, reproduced, even manipulated in ways we had never imagined. Technology has advanced at lightning speed.
We've isolated the key sequence.
Today, we have CRISPR, a revolutionary tool often described as a pair of molecular scissors. With CRISPR, scientists can cut, remove, and replace specific sections of DNA with extraordinary precision. It is like editing words in a digital document. This breakthrough has opened the door to repairing damaged genes, curing diseases, and reconstructing the blueprints of extinct species. Is no longer a dream, it is becoming a plan. Why, then, does the year 2030 keep appearing in these discussions? To scientists, it is more than just a round number, it is a deadline born from confidence and momentum. Advances in sequencing ancient DNA, cloning techniques, and artificial wombs are converging. It is as if three rivers of science are meeting, creating a surge powerful enough to break through the dam of impossibility. By 2030, many experts believe we will not just talk about de-extinction hypothetically. And when people speak of the first candidate for revival, one name rises above all others: the woolly mammoth. Towering, shaggy, with sweeping tusks that curve like ivory sabers, the mammoth has captured our imagination for centuries. Soon, it may also capture our gaze in reality. Picture the Siberian tundra. The horizon stretches endlessly, white and silent under a blanket of snow. And then, breaking the stillness, a figure appears. 4 meters tall, with a thick coat of shaggy fur rippling in the icy wind, massive tusks slicing the air, it is a woolly mammoth, alive and moving. Not a frozen carcass preserved in permafrost, not a skeleton in a museum, but a living creature breathing clouds of vapor into the frozen air. This is the vision scientists are working toward. And it is not merely for spectacle. Researchers argue that resurrecting the mammoth could help restore lost ecosystems. They believe mammoths could revive ancient grasslands and even slow climate change by stabilizing permafrost. What once seemed like fantasy is now framed as a solution. The line between imagination and reality is blurring. And humanity is walking that line with determined steps. 49. To understand how such a vision could become real, we must step inside the laboratory. At the heart of de-extinction lies the molecule of life itself, DNA. Fragments of mammoth DNA, pulled from frozen remains buried in Siberian permafrost, are carefully extracted and sequenced. They are then compared with the DNA of the Asian elephant, the mammoth's closest living relative. But ancient DNA is like a crumbling manuscript, its words scattered, its pages torn. CRISPR is the editor that can rewrite those missing passages. Scientists cut and stitch, replacing broken sequences with functional ones, carefully assembling a genome. Each success brings the blueprint of the mammoth closer to completion. It is delicate, painstaking work, a puzzle with millions of pieces. Yet slowly, piece by piece,
we're
the picture
taking a
sharpens.
closer look at the species we've selected for our de-extinction
But DNA
project.
alone cannot walk the earth. To transform code into flesh, scientists must master the art of birth itself. Cloning offers one pathway, an updated version of the method that produced Dolly the sheep. Through somatic cell nuclear transfer, a reconstructed mammoth nucleus is placed inside the egg of a modern elephant. With the right spark, a new embryo begins to divide. But here lies a challenge, carrying such an embryo to term. Asian elephants, though close relatives, are endangered themselves. Should we risk their health for the sake of reviving another species? Some researchers say no.
We should try to bring back the passenger pigeon.
Listen out to list on your pigeon.
And so, another frontier emerges: artificial wombs. Machines designed to simulate the biology of pregnancy. They could nurture embryos in a carefully monitored environment. Though still experimental, progress is accelerating. Some believe that artificial wombs may hold the key to de-extinction on a large scale. The woolly mammoth may be the star, but it is not alone on the revival stage. Across the world, another animal has captured scientific attention: the thylacine. Also known as the Tasmanian tiger, it once roamed Australia and Tasmania. It was hunted relentlessly by humans until the last known individual died in 1936. Grainy black and white footage of that lonely animal pacing in a cage has haunted generations. Now, nearly a century later, Australian scientists believe they can undo that loss. By reconstructing the thylacine genome and combining it with the cells of its closest relatives, they hope to reintroduce it. Unlike the mammoth, the thylacine's habitat still exists, and its role in the ecosystem could once again be fulfilled. And the list grows longer. Imagine the skies of North America darkened once more by flocks of passenger pigeons,
The data
once so
clearly
numerous
supports
that they
these
stretched
projections.
across the horizon for hours at a time. Or picture the return of the aurochs, the massive wild cattle that were ancestors of today's domesticated cows. Each candidate comes with its own set of challenges and promises. Passenger pigeons could help restore forests by reviving natural seed dispersal. Aurochs could reshape grasslands and strengthen biodiversity. Yet each resurrection sparks debate. Do we have the right to decide which species deserve a second chance? Are we reviving them for their sake or for ours? Behind these dreams are organizations with ambition as colossal as the creatures they aim to resurrect. Colossal Biosciences, a Texas-based company, has raised vast sums of money with promises to bring
Their
back
vision
both the
combines
mammoth
science
and the
with
spectacle, capturing global headlines. Meanwhile, Revive and Restore, a non-profit, has set its sights on the passenger pigeon. They argue that restoring keystone species could repair ecosystems humans have damaged. Around the world, research teams compete and collaborate, turning de-extinction into one of the most ambitious scientific pursuits. Step by step, lab by lab, the boundary between extinct and existing grows thinner.
We
stand
consider
at
the
the edge
ethical
of something
implications of
extraordinary,
de-extinction
something that could
very
redefine
carefully.
the future of
The
life on
scientific
Earth.
potential
But even
is
as
too
the
great
science
to ignore.
marches forward, questions loom as large as the creatures themselves. What happens when an extinct species is placed back into a living ecosystem? Supporters argue that de-extinction could repair broken environments. They say mammoths could help restore ancient grasslands, trampling snow and keeping permafrost intact. Passenger pigeons might bring back lost forest cycles, dispersing seeds across vast landscapes. Or ox could keep grasslands healthy, supporting a richer diversity of life. The vision is grand, not just reviving lost animals, but reviving entire ecosystems. Yet ecosystems are delicate. Introducing even one species could trigger unexpected consequences. What if the balance tips the wrong way? What if we solve one problem only to create another? This leads us into the thorniest questions of all ethics. Do humans have the right to resurrect species? Some argue that extinction is a natural process, part of evolution's endless cycle. By interfering, we may be undoing nature's decisions, bending the rules for our curiosity. Others argue the opposite, that most recent extinctions are not natural at all, but caused by humans. We destroyed habitats, hunted species to oblivion, introduced invasive predators. If we caused their disappearance, don't we bear a moral responsibility to bring them back? Yet even if we can, should we?
This requires us to really consider the ethical
Revived
implications of
animals
our
may
actions.
struggle in modern
But what about
environments.
the impact on individual liberty?
They may
we talk
suffer,
about playing
confined to
God,
artificial conditions,
We're
or
talking
live
about
lives filled
taking
with
on a
challenges.
level of responsibility.
In saving them, are we actually creating new suffering?
Oh my goodness.
And beyond the ethical debate comes the legal one. Imagine a woolly mammoth finally walks the earth again. Who owns it? The scientists who created it, the company that funded the project, the government in whose territory it lives, or does it belong
Did you
to
see
all
that?
of humanity?
What
Right
is it?
now, there is no international law, no established framework to answer these questions. It is a legal vacuum where science runs ahead of regulation. And history shows us that when technology leaps faster than rules, conflict often follows. Could revived species become attractions in private zoos or property of corporations? Could they be exploited for profit? Without answers, the risk of abuse grows. These concerns echo a warning that popular culture has given us for decades. Jurassic Park, the film that first captured our imagination, was never just about dinosaurs. It was a cautionary tale. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they
The
should.
question of whether we can
That
truly
line
control
resonates
this
more
power
today
is
than ever
precisely
before.
what is at stake.
With all due respect, the evidence suggests a careful
We now stand where fiction once stood, with the power to change life itself. And we must ask the same haunting question: are we wise enough to wield it? Or are we repeating the same arrogance, blinded by the thrill of possibility? Yet ambition does not stop. For many scientists, de-extinction is more than reviving the past, it is shaping the future. The techniques developed to bring back mammoths or thylacines could also cure human diseases. They might regenerate organs or prevent endangered species today from vanishing tomorrow. Some visionaries imagine a world where humans can redesign life itself. Stronger crops, healthier livestock, even altering our own biology. It is both awe-inspiring and terrifying.
We are seeing some
De-extinction
very
is not
interesting
just a story
patterns
about
emerge from
animals,
this
it is a
latest
story
sequence.
about us. About who we are, what we value, and how far we are willing to go. In rewriting the story of life on Earth, 146. But while scientists look ahead with excitement, society
you're
itself
kidding.
is deeply divided. Polls suggest that in the United States, nearly half the population would support reviving certain species. To them, it represents progress, discovery, even redemption for past mistakes.
Groundbreaking news,
Yet in Europe,
scientists have
the
successfully
enthusiasm is
revived
lower.
the woolly mammoth. This incredible
Concerns
feat-
about
While the
animal
scientific
welfare,
achievements are
ecological risks,
undeniable,
and ethical
the
boundaries
ethical
weigh
and
heavily.
ecological
Some see
implications
de-extinction
are
as a
vast.
scientific miracle, others see it as hubris. A dangerous gamble with nature's balance. The debate plays out in universities, government halls, and even around family dinner tables. Should humanity take this leap, or are we opening doors that were closed for a reason? And if we succeed, if the woolly mammoth is truly reborn by 2030, what comes next? Advocates envision a cascade of possibilities. They see forests restored by returning flocks of passenger pigeons, grasslands renewed by herds of aurochs, tundras stabilized by mammoth herds. They dream of a world where extinction is no longer permanent, where mistakes can be reversed, where nature can be healed by human hands. It is an intoxicating vision, filled with hope. But is it realistic? Can revived species truly integrate into modern ecosystems that have evolved without them? Or will they become living relics, curiosities of science? Unable to thrive outside controlled environments. This uncertainty leads to a chilling thought, the Pandora's box of de-extinction. Once opened, can it ever be closed? If we can bring back a mammoth, what would stop us from attempting the resurrection of dinosaurs? Creatures gone for over 65 million years. Even more troubling, what about dangerous species that vanished because they could not coexist with humans? Predators, pathogens, even ancient microbes frozen in ice.
This is about
With
the
each
tiger
success,
and the
the
butterfly.
temptation grows.
I agree this needs further discussion.
I am concerned about the
We
long-term
begin to
effects.
wonder not only what can we bring back, but what should we bring back? And that is where the true danger lies, not in the science itself, but in
I have
our
worked with this
choices.
before.
I think it's important to change.
De-extinction may become
Understand.
humanity's greatest
We have to
achievement.
get together and make a change.
Proof that we can bend the arc of time and undo the finality of death. Or it may become our gravest mistake. A reckless act of defiance against nature's wisdom. It embodies both hope and warning, both promise and peril. Like light and shadow, the two are inseparable. The technology is not inherently good or evil. It is our use of it that will define its legacy. Will future generations look back on de-extinction as the dawn of a golden age? Or as the moment we crossed a line we should never have touched? And so we return to the question that began our journey. Imagine standing face to face with a living woolly mammoth. Its eyes reflecting an ancient world brought back from oblivion. Imagine hearing the call of a Tasmanian tiger echoing through the forests once more. Would you be filled with wonder or pride in human ingenuity?
If given the chance,
Or would you feel a shiver
Would you
of
bring
unease,
the dead
sensing
back
that
to
some
life?
boundaries exist for a reason? The age of de-extinction is coming faster than most believe. Whether it leads us to redemption or ruin will depend not only on scientists, but on all of us. So I ask you, the listener, if given the chance, would you bring the dead back to life? The conversation is only beginning.